Future generation and society building, an excellent topic of discussion by Swami Narasimhananda. Swamiji is a monk at the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna mission founded by Swami Vivekananda in 1897 and is presently the secretary of the Ramakrishna mission Sevashrama in Kozhikode in Kerala, India. He also runs a higher secondary school, a kindergarten, and a polyclinic. He's a former editor of Prabhubuddha Bharata, an English journal of humanities and social sciences. He has edited a volume of Swami Vivekananda's teachings titled Vivekananda Reader. Swamiji specializes in Indian studies, Indian philosophy, sociology of religion, philosophy of religion, and religious studies. Please welcome Swami Narasimhananda.
Hello, a very good evening to all of you. I'm very happy to be a part of the deliberations by GCPIT group. And I am really amazed and happy at the quite varied and distinguished speakers on the list. The topic is about the future. And since we have been discussing about the global sustainable development goals, and future is where we need to give them these goals. We need to ensure that the future inherits these goals. I always think that in the case of the environment, we have fared rather badly, but in other areas at least, and also in the case of environment, let us stop the damage, whatever has been done already, and let us ensure that our future generations get a better world to inhabit. Here, what generally happens when we address the future generation is that we try to be preachy, and it seems that we are satisfied with the one-way traffic, that is wisdom or knowledge going from the adult or so-called grown-up generation to the younger generation. But if evolution were to be true, that really should not be the stance we should take, because evolution has proven over and again that the future generation is much more nuanced, much more developed, much more sensible than the present generation. And though we talk much about the youth being the forerunners of society today across the globe, particularly in the context of India, which is proud to have the most youngest population on this earth, but it's also very sad to note that we hardly make youth the stakeholders, the decision makers. And here, particularly in terms of ensuring healthy lives and promote well-being, which is the third goal, and also having an inclusive and equitable quality education, and also having gender equality and empowerment for women and girls, the third and fourth and fifth goals, we need to be quite positive, and we need to take affirmative actions in ensuring that the youth has a positive say in matters of importance. So, like all governing bodies, just like in the past, we have been thinking across the world to give a significant number of participation to women in all governing bodies, all boards, etc., decision-making committees, decision-making authorities, the legislature. Similarly, we have been successful in ensuring such participation for other marginalized groups. But here, as far as decision-making is concerned, it is the youth who are marginalized. So we need to think now, because across the world, if you see, media has brought home this fact, which we cannot deny, that the youth has tremendous talent in them. But unfortunately, we are seeing or showcasing these talents only in matters of singing or acting and in general, the performing arts. But why can't we include the youth? Why can't we include the youth? When I say youth, in India at least, the age limit given to youth is 15 to 35. When I say youth, I'm talking about 15 to 20 or 15 to 25 at best. Why can't we include youth, including some teenagers, in committees, in bodies? And whatever little experiences we have of such inclusion shows that that brings a fresh insight to the table, that brings a completely paradigmatic shift in decision making. Only when we include youth in decision making can we ensure a better tomorrow for them, because it has to be from their perspective. Another important aspect, which according to me and according to many others, hasn't found enough place in this list of SDGs, and that is the importance of values. When we constantly think about what is humane in technology, or can technology be humane at all? Can the humaneness of technology be retained going down the line? So then always comes the answer that empathy, compassion, creativity, values are something which no technology can take away from us, and no technology can properly ape or imitate. If that be so, it has to be imperatively incorporated in all SDG programs, that values on the whole, in fulfilling all the 17 goals, a stress on values. Because unfortunately, over the years, we have seen a steep decline or a steep erosion of values, and that gives not much hope to both humanness and also being a community as human beings are supposed to be. Human beings being social animals, as we call them. But if that has to continue, we need to stress on certain values. And some countries have taken a major step towards that direction, but many countries have failed to do that. And so the goals cannot be fulfilled in a merely competitive, in a market-driven economy. It has to be market, it has to be also values. So values have to play a major role in the development of the future generations. And when we do that, then we give them meaning to build society. If those two world wars have taught us something, it is this, that unless there is some kind of motive, some kind of drive in a human being, life becomes very bleak. As the survivors of Holocaust or survivors of concentration camps in the Second World War have written volumes about. So only an inspired life, and life which is focused on achieving some higher purpose, a purpose other than sustainably getting food, clothing, and shelter, that purpose has to be maintained. And we have to question whether the SDGs as such focus on this purpose, or can't we take values as the undercurrent of all the SDGs? And if we do that, then gender equality, though there is mention of women and girls, the other orientations, the other kind of gender, which is now transgender, is an accepted gender across the world, most of the places. So will they not get equality? So when we look at these goals from the prism of values, then we find them in a different light. We look at them at different light. And then we would be creating a better tomorrow where these sustainable development goals would be surpassed, and we would be able to give to our future generations something which could be truly sustainable, which could be built upon, which would be the basic framework on which they can build upon, and they can have a better tomorrow. So here, two things I want to emphasize. One is increasing participation or having a visible participation in terms of decision making for the youth. And the second one is a stress on values. No matter what we do, let it be education, let it be healthcare, let it be gender parity, let it be well-being, or let it be shelter, let it be protecting the environment, having a sustainable, inclusive economy. All this, whatever we are focusing on through SDGs, our focus should be from an ethical standpoint, from a values-based standpoint. And only then can both the state decision makers and also society in general bring about a lasting change. Again, our discourse, as I told in the beginning, should be two-way. In all these policy decisions and also in feedback, we need to have something similar to the 360 feedback mechanism used in human resource management, where we take feedback from even children, because they are better at many things, not just performing arts. And so that if we can do, then I think, and I am sure, as some experiments in India and abroad have shown, that we will have a better knowledge pool, we will have better insights to make more inclusive and more workable decisions, where we have the support of everyone, right from a kid to a non-Nigerian or a very aged centenarian probably. So the sustainable goals, once again, I would repeat, have to have three things. One is it should be a two-way communication with all the parties involved, including children. And the second one is the focus should be to involve youth, like from 15 years to 20 or 25 at most, in decision making. And the third one is having a values-based approach to all the SDGs. I think then we will be able to look at these goals, which are very comprehensive to say the least, in a very different light. I thank again GCPIT group for having given me this opportunity, and I would be watching. I hope this is in YouTube, because streaming is there, and if the link is shared, I would be very happy to go through in detail the deliberations of all the presenters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for all your insights. We really appreciate it.